It's 6 o'clock on Friday, the 31st of May 2019. Good evening and thank you for tuning in to rtvора's English edition. My name is Alexandra, bringing you the only daily update of the local Albanian news translated into English. The CDU MP in the German Bundestag, Olav Guting, has expressed appreciation for Albania's progress. Through a statement posted via Twitter, Guting says that Albania is a friend and partner and that they will never forget that Albanians are the most pro-EU people in the region, based on all surveys conducted by the European Union. Guting suggests to his colleagues to be sensitive in sending messages from Germany to Albania. The inner disputes are worrying, but we should be cautious giving advice to Albania, for example, concerning the date of elections. We can only say that leaving Parliament and throwing Molotovs is no option. In fact, it is wrong and does not match our values. Political disputes should be solved through dialogue and parliamentary debates, not through street fights, said the CDU MP in the statement. The CDU MP suggested for colleagues to salute Albania's progress based on the EU Commission report and to deal very responsibly with the positive recommendation of the Commission to open accession talks with Albania, given the tangible progress. The united opposition, led by Lulzim Basha, has not registered for the June 30th local elections, but remains committed to monitoring the process if it is to be held. As such, they submitted their lists for commissioners to be placed at the polling stations within the allowed timeframe as per the electoral code. However, the request for the commissioners was declined on the grounds that only those political parties who have registered to participate in the elections can, in fact, be represented by commissioners. As a result of the decision, representatives of the opposition denounced the largest part of the commissions of electoral administration zones in the country. Sources close to the commissions of electoral administration zones revealed to rtvora that this was only procedural. Until a decision is made by the Electoral College, the CEC will not register either the Democratic Party or the Socialist Movement for Integration lists for commissioners in the CEAZ. Under the slogan, the municipality we want for the Albania we want, Edi Rama gathered 61 mayoral candidates in the capital. For the first time in the history of political pluralism in our country, the electoral campaign will open without the participation of the Democratic Party, who are determined to refuse to participate in the election with Edi Rama as Prime Minister. It is expected that Prime Minister Rama, Erion Veliaj and SP Chair of Tirana, Blerina Gjullermeti, will all deliver speeches at the start of the electoral campaign. In June 30 local elections, the Socialists will only compete in 33 municipalities, while 22 local units will see the entrance of the Democratic Convenience candidates. There'll be no more than two candidates in only 6 municipalities. The weekend will be busy for Prime Minister Edi Rama because one day after the electoral campaign and a few hours before the opposition protest, he will meet with the Secretary-General of NATO, Jens Stoltenberg. The pair are expected to discuss regional security and the borders of the Western Balkans. After the meeting with the Prime Minister, Stoltenberg will also have a brief meeting with the President of the Republic, Ilir Meta. The Democrats are not worried by the fact that the Socialist Party has launched the election campaign for the June 30th elections, as they are convinced that these elections will not occur. Former DP MP Ervin Saliani said that the Prime Minister is entertaining himself, but as he said, there cannot be elections without the opposition. Even the Secretary for Legal Issues, Trim Jata, compared the electoral campaign of the Socialist Party with various fields in the dictatorship of Enver Hoxha. Both former MP Ervin Saliani and Legal Secretary Trim Jata are convinced that the June 30th elections will not be held, although they have not provided any details as to how they intend to block them. Lulzim Basha has rejected calls from the head of the government, Edi Rama, to sit for unconditional dialogue, instead stressing that only his resignation paves the way for political stability. As local elections loomed, the municipalities considerably increased the number of building permits issued. Apparently, there was an upward trend in the number of approved tenders over the last months, as there was with the approval of construction permits. Instat data shows that in the first quarter of 2019, a total of 245 construction permits were approved for new buildings, from 221 in the first quarter of the previous year, marking an increase of 10.9%. Meanwhile, the approximate value of construction permits for buildings and engineering works in the first quarter of 2019 equated to 25.2 billion lek. The capital continues to lead with 94 new construction projects, the highest number in the past 7 years. After the capital, but with a significant decrease being almost twice as low, were Durrës, Elbasan and Leja. The districts with the lowest number of permits were Dibra and Kukas, which have only approved one new project each in the past 3 months. The consumption of shishas, or electronic cigarettes, will no longer be allowed in the interior premises of bars. The new law, which is expected to be approved soon by the Assembly, also increases the fine for non-compliance sixfold and outlines the provisions for suspension of activity for entities that do not align with the new rules. New changes were presented for World No Tobacco Day by the Minister of Health and Social Protection, Ogeta Manastirliu. In the spirit of the EU directive, as well as the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, under the expected legal changes, smoking, electronic cigarettes and shishas will all be prohibited in closed environments. Also, the packs of cigarettes and cigarettes with characteristic flavours will be removed from the market. By these measures, we aim to protect young people and adolescents from these products that have a high degree of dependence, said Minister Manastirliu. But doctors raise concerns that smoking rates continue to remain high. About 100 cases of pulmonary cancer are diagnosed per year. Health experts say that citizens are taking up smoking as young as 13, with women seeming to be the ones who light up the most. The Mayor of the municipality of Tirana, Erion Veliai, has closed his 4-year term today as the 30th of June election campaign is officially launched. Today is my last day in this mandate as Mayor. Tomorrow I will start as a candidate and may the best candidate win. I believe that there could not be a better way to conclude this 4-year mandate than where we started, working with kids, said Veliai. Attending a conference on friendly cities for children with experts and professionals from different countries of the world, Veliai said that during these years, Tirana has undergone transformation from a city of chaos into one suitable for children. Today, to have bike lanes, to be talking about electric buses or electric taxis. This is completely different from 4 years ago, where we were discussing if we could remove the rubble and if we could collect garbage. Since the beginning, we have focused our investments on our future generation, expressed Veliai. The Mayor said that even in the next mandate, the municipality will have many projects focused on children, starting from the Pyramid of Tirana. Children should not just play and have physical activity, but we should also prepare them for the future. Not to rush them to be grown up, but to have the knowledge to be competitive in the modern world, which we refer to as the technological age. So I'm very happy that the government is engaged in the transformation of the Pyramid of Tirana, not only as an alternative information technology school, but also with a very strong sense of symbolism, said Erion Veliai. UNICEF representative Roberto De Bernardi informed of the results of the children's survey, which determined that Tirana is considered one of the friendliest cities for the youth. And that's the news across the country today. Thanks for watching our English edition this evening, and please join us again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. On behalf of RTV Ora, thank you and good night.